Does God hate the Broncos right now? This is the OG Bronc Nuts. Here for the Crow video for the Broncos Steelers game. Steelers beat the Broncos yesterday. Close game all the way to the end. Broncos had opportunities to win the game, but Steelers were too much for the Broncos, especially on defense late in the game, and that's why they won. So shout out to all the Steelers fan base, especially the video makers here on YouTube, fan base, and the whole team and organization for hanging in there. Tough fought win when things really weren't going well for the Steelers yesterday. That being said, more bad news comes to the Broncos today. Courtland Sutton is now out for the year with a torn ACL. So now, we just get Chubb back, who's not feeling 100%, and we lose our leader on defense in Miller, and then lose our two biggest leaders on offense in Drew Lock, our quarterback, and Courtland Sutton. Meanwhile, injuries still plaguing Philip Lindsay, AJ Boye. So, that's literally the biggest names on our whole roster that are all on the sidelines, and most of those names for the whole year. So I don't really know how things could get any worse for us than they are right now. And you hate to see these players go down. I think not having a preseason really affected the Denver Broncos. I think we are either the youngest or maybe one of the top 3 youngest teams in the NFL right now. So, losing AJ Boye and having to put Ojemudia back there. You see him got beat twice yesterday for touchdowns. And this is a guy that didn't play any preseason games. And really, yesterday's game was his second preseason game. It's just an official preseason game that counts. So, it's disappointing for football to be gone this long. And, the whole coronavirus talk of not having any football. And here where I live, we still don't even have any high school football. And the colleges have even canceled their football programs in the state of Colorado outside of, really all of them, except for maybe CU is going to end up playing. But to not have any preseason and then just get only into week 2 and lose all of your best players as a fan is disheartening, because it makes you not even really want to watch. Now, of course, I'm still going to watch. I'm going to watch us get beat up. But Locke being out, especially 2 to 6 weeks, they're not going to rush him back. So now we've got another year with him basically on the shelf and not knowing exactly what we got. And because, look, I'm not one of these guys that says Drew Lock's the savior of the Denver Broncos. I've said it here before the season started. He's played 5 games. He's looked promising. Like, he's done a few things that, give you some hope. But, he's only won 4 games. So there's nothing to say about Locke. I got to see him play for a whole season, for 16 games, and now we're not even going to see that. So count on the Broncos losing a lot more games this year, because, let's just be honest. Jeff Driscoll is trash. Although he did play good enough yesterday to win the game, but at the end there, the announcer said on that free blitzer that, somebody missed an assignment. And I'll tell you who missed the assignment. It was probably Jeff Driscoll himself. He knew that back was going out on that pass play, and that guy was going to be unblocked. So he either needed to check into a new play or throw it right over the top of his head to where that back is the person just vacated. And that's what you get with a guy who doesn't get to take reps in practice, who doesn't have a preseason, who's on a new franchise, new coaching. And it came time to, give us a chance to win the game, and Jeff Driscoll pissed right down his leg. That's why he played 3 seasons at the University of Florida and transferred out to a smaller school where he could have some success. And now he's 1-8 in the NFL, and we got to ride with this fool for the rest of the year. Well, maybe not the rest of the year, but at least half of the year. So things don't look good for the Broncos. I was proud of the way our defensive line played yesterday. Connors really didn't have anything working until that very last run that he had after they made the first down. The game was pretty much in hand, and he broke one loose. But Connor didn't really have too much of an effect on the game. Look, we dropped a pass in the end zone that hit our defensive back in both hands uncontested for an interception. Couple, 2, 3 plays later, Pittsburgh scores. We make that play in the end zone, we win the game. We make one of 3 plays in the Tennessee game, we win the game. So as bad as we've played with our 0-2 record, we've had opportunities to win both games without our best players on the field. So that goes to show you that there is hope for the Broncos in the future because we are young. We do have some talented people, but this isn't going to be the year we're going to be able to put anything together. And I didn't think that we'd be more than probably 8-8 going into this year anyway, and I doubt we're going to win that many games now. But I did expect the Broncos to be competitive and compete every single Sunday, and I don't really know if we're going to be able to compete to win the game for more than just a handful of games probably for the rest of the year. So disappointing times to be a Broncos fan. Disappointing news coming out of Dove Valley and the UC Davis Center. It is just it's a hard thing to swallow because things were looking, like they'd finally maybe started to turn around from us, and we were a year or 2 away of getting all of these young guys ready for the pro game and the grind of the pro game and the pro season, and now we don't even get to see it all happen. So I don't know. I mean, I'm more thankful that there's football than no football. I mean, because I love watching football games, but right now, I think Broncos fans are. I mean, we're going to watch the team play, but the only reason I'm interested in pro football now is fantasy football. I like still watching all the games, getting ready to have everybody's house tonight to watch the Monday Night Football game and fire up some steaks. Try to take this pain of all these injuries away. I mean, yesterday was big for injuries. I mean, just Bosa and Barkley and a lot of big names, Solomon, Jimmy Garoppolo. And I just don't know, has there even been a day in the history of NFL where 3 big names have gone out with ACL injuries all in the same day? I mean, in the same afternoon, in the same basically hour. I don't know if that's even happened before. But I got to put a lot of that on, no preseason and probably just not a lot of contact and a lot of normal practice schedule like you would have in years past. And it's definitely reared its ugly head, and it's hurt several teams in the NFL, and it's hurt our team really bad. So 0-2 starts, never fun. I think the worst part is if Locke ends up being out for 6 weeks, or if he comes back, gets re-injured, or doesn't feel right, and they sit him on the bench for the whole year. Now the Broncos are in a real dilemma because now he's been hurt 2 years in a row. And we still don't have any resolution at quarterback. We've probably now at this point lost a bunch of games and moved our way up the draft board. And now we're probably going to be in a position to where we might be forced with a decision to trade Von Miller to eliminate $22 million in cap space to move up the final few spots to get Goldilocks at number 1. And that sucks. But that's real right now for Broncos fans. That could really happen. Anyway, I know the rest of y'all don't even care about all that. Just wanted to get on here, give the Crow video out to the Steelers fans. Great video week between you guys. And you guys got a great defense and got some nice things going. And congratulations on being 2-0 and sending us to the bottom of the barrel of the AFC West where we actually belong right now. The COG Broncnuts from the 719 checking up out of here 0-2. Boy, it's tough.